Hello BookTube, happy fall. I'm so glad you're here today. It's been a couple weeks since I have posted any videos. It's been really busy and I'm a little behind. So I'm hoping this weekend I can catch up, and I'm going to start with this video today all about my book haul from this month. I am so excited to share with you. I got a chance to go out of town and have a little fun, bookish fun, I guess you'd call it. So grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, something warm on this beautiful fall day, and let's get down to it. So I got to go to New York City. I got to visit my son who has recently moved to New York. But during the day, my husband was busy with meetings. My son was busy with his life and pursuing his pursuits. So I got the day, two full days to do as I pleased. So I decided to spend a little bookish time in New York City. One day I focused on book shopping, and one day I focused on just bookish places to visit. So I want to share those with you today, and I'm super excited. So let's start with the day of bookish activities. So that day I woke up. I don't know if you have ever been to the Grolier Club. It is a book society. It was phenomenal, and I'm hoping that even though I'm a newbie and not really great with editing, I'm going to be able to put in some pictures. So I booked an appointment. You do have to have an appointment to go in, but they have exhibits, they have gorgeous bookshelves, and I actually got to see the treasures from the Hispanic Society Library at the Grolier Club. It was gorgeous. The books, I saw books from the 1100s. It was phenomenal. So if you have not taken a stop at the Grolier Club, and I'll put a link down below so you can click on it if you want to make reservations next time you're in New York. It was fantastic, and hopefully you're going to get to see some pictures of that at the end of this video. After I left there, I went to the Illustration Museum. Didn't even know there was an illustration museum. It's right close to Central Park. It was really close to Midtown Manhattan where we were staying, and it is the Society of Illustrators Museum, and I saw all different kinds of things, from comic book illustrations to 1950s like illustrations for ads. There was so much there. It was 4 floors, lots of really cool stuff. Again, I did have to buy a ticket. I think it was a $15 donation, I think, to get into there. Beautiful work. It felt so lovely and bookishy. After that, I headed off to the New York Public Library, which I have been to before, but no bookish day in New York for me is complete without visiting the Lions. And I'm going to show you a book that I picked up while I was in New York at an antique bookstore, just to kind of remember how much I love the New York Public Library, and their children's section is to die for, with Lego lions out front to match the lions out in front of the actual library. It's an amazing visit, and Rose Hall is just gorgeous. So if you have not been, I highly recommend it. The last thing I did on my bookish day before meeting up with everybody for dinner was I went to the Morgan Library. This is another thing I have never done, never thought about doing, did not realize, and I booked tickets. Everything pretty much in New York now, you've got to book a ticket, and you got to have a mask, and you got to have proof of your vaccination. But the Morgan Library was stunning. I don't think words do it justice. It is the most beautiful library I've ever seen. I felt like I was in a museum and in a church. So maybe a library is my church, maybe that's what it is. But it was stunningly beautiful, the way they had the books displayed. They also had an exhibit going on upstairs, and it was phenomenal. And it was all about bookbinding. It was gorgeous. I'm gonna at least put pictures at the end of this video so you can see all these wonderful things, and I'll put links to all of these places, so if you're on a bookish trip to New York, you know where to go. All right, so that was my day of just exploring bookish places. The other day was my book shopping day. So I'm so excited to show you what I found. The first day I went to a bookstore I'd never been to called Imperial Fine Books. It is in Manhattan. It's not, I looked it up online. I went and walked back and forth 3 times, could not find it. It's not a normal storefront. It's actually in between 2 stores. You go up and it's like an office building and you find this wonderful little nugget of amazing books, antique books, fine leather bound. And the women in there were phenomenal. We talked books and loves, and I explained that I was a new book collector and that I love classics, but especially children's classics. So we started looking through their shelves and what did she have, and she had a new book that had just come in. It was out of my price range, but I got it. It was amazing. You want to see it? It's phenomenal. Alice and Wonderland. Look at this cover. Can you read? Oh, with the gold leaf. It is beautiful. It's very special. It's very special. And if you look right here, I'm just going to show you a few pages. Look at the interior. Amazing. The feel of the paper, unbelievable. It's a 1907 first edition, fine handmade brown by Gibson. It is brown leather, bound by Gibson. It has 13 color plates. I just want to show you this wonderful picture of Alice in the front because this is why I went a little crazy and got it, because I just, look at her. His illustrations, amazing. So that is my best find of all, and that was first thing in the morning. I absolutely love Imperial books. They are phenomenal. So then from Imperial books, I went to Shakespeare and Company, which is more of a modern day just bookstore. I love it. So I was in there, and I like to pick, when I go to different bookstores, I love to get the salespeople's picks, and they had a table of them. So I picked up The Guncle by Stephen Rowley and The Woman of Intelligence. Look at that cover. That just makes me want to read it. I will tell you, I have not read this one. I read this one immediately because I had heard so much about it online, and it did not disappoint. I will be talking about it a little bit more during my October wrap-up, which hopefully I'll be doing this weekend, but phenomenal book if you have not read it. It'll make you laugh and cry at the same time. Fabulous. So then my shopping trip ended up at a Grassy bookstores, which I absolutely love. I had been there before. They have great finds, great antique books, and not all antique books are expensive. There's lots of different price ranges, and there's lots that I can't even begin to even think about that I would love to have, but they're just out there. But I have 4 really great finds I found at a Grassy, and I love the sisters that run it. They're the sweetest women. I talk to them every time I go in, and they always have great tips and advice, and I love them. Book people are awesome, aren't they? They are. So here's what I picked up from them that day. I got The Trumpet of the Swan by E.B. White. I love this book. I have a paperback copy from my classroom days that's been pretty beaten up, and I was so excited to find a hardback copy. It was only $15, and it will be a wonderful addition to my bookshelf in hardback, so I'm really excited about that. Okay. I love New York, and if you love New York and you love children's books, you have to love Eloise, right? So I do have a copy of Eloise that I bought when my daughter was born for her, but I found these 2 originals in a Grassy Books. Eloise, now this one's pretty beaten up, but I love it and I don't care. And this one I had never seen, Eloise in Moscow. Look at this. I'm so excited. Look at Eloise there. Ah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It is a first edition. It was published in 1959. And I am ecstatic to add it to my collection. Yay. Okay, then the last one is a newer book. But I don't have a copy of it, and as I was telling you earlier in the video, New York Public Library is one of my favorite places to go and just spend time. And they had a copy of The Library Lion, and I love The Library Lion, and I kept thinking about the lions out front, the Lego lions in the children's library, and I just could not get it. And it's a nice hardback copy. The illustrations are beautiful. The lion's expressions are phenomenal. So I'm super excited to add that to my collection as well. And then the last thing that I got, I did not get in New York. It came in the mail. I had pre-ordered it when it came out, and it has arrived. I haven't started reading it. I'm hoping maybe next month I'll be able to get to it. The Lincoln Highway. This is a chunker. This is going to be a big one. But I'm so excited. I'm not going to put it off because I don't know if you're familiar with Amar Tolls. I think I said that right. He wrote, this is his third book. He wrote The Rules of Civility and A Gentleman in Moscow, two of my all-time favorite books. I read this one years ago. And then I saw this one that was by the same author, and I was like, oh, it's a must. And then when I heard he had written his third book, it was a must-have. So that's it for my book haul for October. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing all my finds. I thoroughly love sharing them with you, and I'm going to attempt to try to attach some pictures of the bookish places I went while I was in New York, and I'll put links down below, so if you are interested in visiting any of those, you'll have a quick way to register and get your time slot in. Thanks for stopping by, and hopefully